I am going to be working with pan pastels today in my journal. This is an old ledger, and I love the beautiful writing in it. What I'm going to start out with is using a stencil. I've been thinking about the Fall Fearless and Fly, the last prompt of this year, and or of this challenge. And it's all about how do you jump charge your creativity when you're feeling stuck. And I was feeling stuck. So I decided to just get out some things to play with. This is an egg stencil from Stencil Girl. And I am going to mess with colors that I normally don't do a lot with. And I'm going to set it so it's a little bit off the edge so it kind of looks like the egg is sitting on something. I put some orange around the edges, but I left the middle a little bit lighter. So I went darker around the edge, trying to leave a little bit of light there so it starts to give my egg a little bit of shape. Pan pastels, I've got a tray of them here. This is a wonderful tool. I have a whole bunch of them. I keep them like almost like paintbrushes in the colors. And these are removable pads that come off of here that I absolutely love. I will switch it around depending on what color's over there so I don't get them too mixed up together. Then this stencil, which is really cool, has all these little egg parts to it, or designs on it, and I am going to put a little egg pattern on there. For this one I'm going to use red because I might not have usually used red. Let's see. I'm going to kind of put that there. So I'm just lining up these little holes on the top. These holes, cutouts, whatever these are, the pattern of the speckling of the egg. Wow, that is just really dark. It's a lot darker than I wanted it to be. So I'm going to use a fancy tool called my hand. Maybe I'll actually use a Kleenex. And just blot a little bit of it off so it's not quite as dark. Let's see, move that. I'm going to use Dina Wakley stamp and a Versamark stamp pad. Any of the clear embossing powders, like a clear embossing stamp, will work. This one just happens to be a watermark one. It's not a very clean pad, but if you've watched much of my stuff, you know I don't like to clean anything. So I want to cover up, I want to protect the eggs so that I don't stamp on them. So I just need a blank piece of paper. So I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to take the egg and I'm just going to grab one of these. I need a template. Not a template. I need a mask. I guess I need a template to cut out. A mask to protect the eggs while I'm stamping. So this is not going to be precise. I just need to generally protect it. And I love this egg because it's easy to cut out. I don't like to spend hours cutting stuff out. So that will do what it needs to protect the eggs. I'm going to use this woman from her. I forget the name of this stamp, but I absolutely love it. Stamp her up. And I am going to do... protect that egg. And I'm going to push her down. It is a clear ink, so when I lift this up, you probably won't see much. Oh, you saw more than I thought. Because if you don't clean things off, they leave a little bit of residue. Alright, so now I'm going to use my tool, and I'm going to go into the purple. And what I'm going to do is the Versamark ink is going to pick up the pan pastel because it's creamy, but it's a dry medium. And I'm just going to go really lightly over it. as I'm going over it very lightly, it's sticking more to wherever there is the ink. Now I went around her a little bit, and that's not going to bother me, but it might bother me in some way. So I'm going to take one of the little round spongy things, and I'm going to do the background in this very lightly. Nice part with this is it really gets done quickly. Get a lot of color. I have two colors on here. I have the hot pink and the purple. I'm sure those aren't their technical names. But what you get with it is a nice mixture of colors as you're doing this. And I want to protect those eggs again as I show up right here, because I don't want... Ooh, that didn't work out the way I thought. I want them to stand out from the background. Whoops. So I just dipped it into the purple, which I didn't mean to do. So I'm going to bring that back here to try and wipe a lot of it off. You can see it doesn't take much to give you a lot of color. That was just one little swipe that got me the purple. But it also comes off, so. These are extremely pigmented. They are just scrumptious. Oh, look what I managed to pick up from that. So there is an oops. Is it what I intended to do? No. Does it matter? No. So I'm going to kind of come in here, go all around her, come down there. I wonder how that'll look in the end. If things don't go quite as you want, just smudge things around a little bit more. That's the nice thing about these, is they just kind of smudge around. For a while. She looks great, except I want to give her a little bit of blue. The nice part is you can do some wonderful things with blending. So this is, I've used the blue, and I'm just going to come in and give her a little different coloring on parts of her. Again, that's one of the things I love about this, because it's so translucent. It layers up so nicely. And I'm going to take a really fine brush so that I have some control over it. Not that fine. You know, why is it we have so many brushes but never the right brush for the job? No, that one's too small. I'll get this one. I've got some water here, just clear water. And then I'm going to trace over it, and it's going to make it look all wonderful and painty and messy. It's also going to make it stand out against the background more. So now I've done that, but these little words kind of disappear too much, so I'm going to trace around the boxes that are already around them. And let that help pop them out a little bit. I'm just going to do a quick, that was a lot more water than I thought. Tracing around them to make them pop out a little bit more. So that makes them darker, balances out a little bit. But now I've got all this black here, but no black over here, so it doesn't seem like it fits to me. So I'm going to put some black around the ladies. Okay, give them some details here. I don't know if it's really details, but I'm going to give them a little bit of notebook sketchy stuff. Now I gave her a little bit too much of a shoulder. Kind of gave her a linebacker shoulder. And so be it. It's an oops. And that just shows that it's my hand that added to this. So I need something more in this. And I really love my jelly plate. I don't know if you've seen my colorful jelly print party stuff, but some of the papers that I made during that. And I'm going to use those. It's going to give me this sort of a contrast to it. So I'm going to slide this out of the way so I can punch. When I say slide out of the way, I mean try and find an open spot where I don't already have stuff. And I'm just going to punch a bunch of these and see what I get with it. Okay. By the way, these scraps make wonderful use in a journal for something else, so I don't throw those out. I love those. So I've got all these little ticket thingies punched. And now I'm going to bring this guy back. I've got these tickets. No, I like that one. Ooh. Oh, I like that. No. So clearly I'm going to just keep playing around with things. Give it some contrast. I got some little, ooh, all right. I can label the eggs. So one of the things that I was thinking about as I was doing, well, you'll be able to read in the post what's kind of going in my head as I'm thinking about this. I like that. But the white's awfully harsh. I don't want to use anything as bright as these. I want to use a lighter color. Maybe I'll try the light purple. Let's see how that looks. I'm just going to test it out on the back of one of these. Ooh, I think I like it. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to soften those guys up. I think I'm going to use a colored pencil. Let me try that yellow one. I just really need to give an edge to these eggs. It's bugging me for some reason. And so I'm just taking a yellow pencil, yellow colored pencil, going around these. It's not obviously doing a lot, but it's doing a lot in person. I don't know if you can see all that it's doing on the screen, but it's making me much happier to define the edges of my eggs. Alright, well, I decided I want a little sparkle in this, so I pulled out my Stickles Magenta. And I am going to jazz up the waves here. Boy, it's hard to do this and concentrate and talk. New respect. No respect for people that have to do this and talk all the time. You know what, it needs some kind of frame, and that is, I just keep coming back to that. So, I'm not trying to figure out what to do with the frame. Should I do a black line? That's too much. I'm going to go just with some pan pastel. Now I've got that part there, and then I'm just going to kind of blend it out a little bit so it's not as noticeable. I didn't want a harsh line with it, so I'm just going to kind of blend it out a little bit. Put off the word there. Much, much happier with that. Much, much happier. So do I do that over here? How do I get in there? Getting into that crease is kind of tough to get in there. But I did it.